get down these jelly beans. I'll be right with you. I'm so professional. How's everybody doing? Yeah, battery. They've been playing pretty well. You know, I have not seen an injury report on Max Fried though. I was wondering if you can let me know what's going on with him. A lot of good baseball. We got a game on tonight. I don't know how good it is. Phillies, Rangers. Rangers wearing the powder blues. Who wears it better? They're just wearing it right in front of the Phillies, right in front of the Phillies fans. I saw somebody else wearing the powder blues this weekend too, and I can't remember what team it was. I mean, I watched almost all four of the Mets games, not the whole. I missed part of Saturday, I think, but I watched most of them. Watched parts of the Padres games. That lineup is just so fun to watch. Sean, your Royals, though, are built for the future. They got Perez, named him captain. Man, they got some good young talent and more in the pipeline. I think that's a team for the future. And they just don't have the payroll capabilities to just go out and get the players to compete like the other guys can. That's Soul Central's like that. You can win in the Central and still be way behind in the rest of the league. But yeah, baseball. NCAA women's and men's tournament Final Four this weekend. My friends in Iowa came so close today. They came so close. I feel for them. A buddy texted me Friday night, feeling pretty darn good. He was in Vegas for something else and won some money on the Iowa game. Text me, said he was buying drinks for everybody. Yeah, you're right. For anybody that walked by and said "Go Hawks," so he had a fun night Friday night. Too bad they couldn't. At least they tried to make a couple of runs, but it was tough. Those girls at LSU, the women there, they could shoot. I mean, that one woman in the first half, that little guard, she couldn't miss. Her range was anywhere in the gym. But yeah, I turned it over to that after the Mets game, and watched most the rest of that. When I got out of hand in the fourth quarter, I turned it. Started watching regular TV because I thought it was a game on an hour before this one, but it wasn't. Everybody played like at 4, either one at 4, and then this game tonight. So I don't even know scores for the other games yet. I haven't looked. But I hope everybody's season is, if you're a baseball fan, I hope you're having fun so far. Rule changes haven't been huge differences in the games. Little ones here and there. The games are going faster. I noticed that already in the first night. I was like, wow. I was watching one game right after another, and it just was awesome. With that being said, let's see. Watch the first night of the WrestleMania last night. I know that is starting now. I know, Sean, you probably watching that maybe while in the background. I'm going to catch it a little bit later tonight. Just a big weekend in sports or pseudo sports, however you want to look at it. You got the NBA coming down to the end. You got the NHL coming down to the end. It's a fun time in sports right now, and just a lot going on. You're going to have an NFL draft next month, so that'll be or late this month. I forget where they moved it to, and they kept it there. It used to be in April, but I think it's in March or May now. So we have that, and so a little bit of everything for everybody in sports. Uh, is it like the '80s? Because I don't I never really looked at that. It seems to me that even the Masters is next week. There you go, and that's so you'll have the LIV players playing in that because that's a non PGA tournament. So that'll be interesting to watch. See how coldness. I know there's some bickering going on between the golfers, believe it or not, over all of this. So we'll see what's going on. In that'll be interesting to see if anything comes out from there. Uh, I haven't heard much on this LIV, but probably that's not the topic to keep people interested with tonight. Uh, I was hoping Nats man. That's what I was texting right when we were getting on. Was coming on. I haven't heard anything from him. There was a show here in Hickory yesterday. I did not end up not going. There was that one in Chantilly up in Northern Virginia. I know Bobbles did a video from there. I did not see it yet. I need to take a look at it. I've been meaning. I'm always like, there's something I've been meaning to watch. I was out running errands when he posted it. Uh, and honestly, I right now just didn't have the funds. I had 3 different orders come in that I had to pay for. Um, and I just didn't want to go at Hickory and just kind of not have not not have the money set aside to spend. I have the money to spend, but it's a matter of do I want to spend it here or later. And I'm saving up for I want to have a nice little knot to take to the national. I don't want to go to national with how I go to local shows. Uh, I've been saying it before. I've been putting myself on a budget, uh, and then once I spend that, I'm done. I'm done until the next paycheck. I see what money needs to go where, and I put myself. Usually, it's just a few $100, and I decide if I want to buy one card or multiple cards. That's just how it is. Uh, Sean, are you doing that on your own or through somebody? Let me just throw this up. I'm neglecting. So Sean said he's waiting on a vintage one. Uh, I have one coming that listened to the Yankees game on the way home from Chantilly. The commercials were still on when the game returned to action and missed some of the action before it came back on. So much for quick games. Oh, hey. Hi, Christina and Maggie, a couple of work people. Mac, nice to meet you through the interwebs. uh, yeah, I sent stuff in myself. I sent one in and it took about 6 weeks. I only sent one card. I'm going to send one more. I got a auto that I need to send in for my Pete Alonso rookie cards. Uh, so, but we're finally getting one back from JT's group that's been there since July. Uh, that they just held it hostage, man. Them and JT were having a little bit of a mix up, and they just hate this space bullshit. See, that's what I'm waiting to hear, James. Is like, who is going to be the one to step up and say, we don't need it? And I'm on the fence. It is nice for, the regular season games are getting out of hand. And I thought what they did to fix it last year, I was one of the people that was for a pitcher for 3 batters. Because to me, they're a professional pitcher. If they can't get out a righty and a lefty, then go find another job. We're hiring where I'm at. So that's the way it is to me. And I thought that helped a lot last year because during the regular season of 162 games, and you're playing every one of them like it's Game 7 of the World Series, that gets a little old. You got to just let the season kind of play out. That's why it's 162 games. It's a law of averages, game of averages. That's why we have numbers as a big part of this game. Uh, yeah, James, how was Chantilly? Was it a good group there? Sean asked. I'm sure the same suspects were there set up. Probably good vintage, very good vintage. Um, I know Hickory's more of a large local show. It's not a national show. It's more of a large local show where half of it is cards and half of it is games and Pokemon. Um, but the cards side is huge. It is a big show, but it's still very local, not national or East Coast guys. More of the Carolinas that I'm getting to know, talk to a little bit. So not the same as Chantilly. Chantilly is more of a northeastern, mid Atlantic show where you get a lot of the same people setting up. Uh, yeah, well, James, I tell you what, I've seen a lot of balls being called strikes that are off the plate today and yesterday. Uh, I, I I usually don't yell too much about balls and strikes unless it's Angel Hernandez who's blindfolded calling balls and strikes. But this these guys, their strike zone, and it's got to be consistent. And once I started seeing they were calling it consistently that way, then you know what you're pitching to as a pitcher. But if it's inconsistent, it makes for a tough, long night for pitchers and batters. That's all they want. Yeah, the automatic balls and strikes. I don't know if that's going to get passed. I don't know. I know they're using it in minor. I think in all the minor leagues maybe this year. I just don't know if that's going to be something that the Players Association is going to go for. Uh, yeah, vintage. There you go. Were you looking for any Marvel or Spider? Well, Spider Man has Marvel. Did they have a lot? I know last time it was good non-sports. A lot of hockey, vintage and modern hockey at that show. Again, it's a northern show. Same guys in Philly, Boston area. I think they make the rounds up and down the East Coast. You see quite a few of them at the National. Uh, yeah, keep the umps, enforce the rules. I can hear you. And there have always been rules about getting in the box and all that stuff. And it's just now they have a timer where it is right there in front of everybody. The umps sitting back here clapping their hands, telling them to get in the box. Because some of those guys were getting ridiculous. That last generation, it kind of started with Garcia Pera and some of these other guys. Uh, Got to get their 5 seconds outside the box to fix everything. The umpires union negotiated such a favorable process for reviewing balls and strikes that you can't get rid of the bad ones. Couple but filled up, my team said. So okay, good. Well, that's good that you got some stuff done. Yeah, sorry I didn't get up there. It's just for me not having the funds to really enjoy the show. That is, uh, I can go to my parents in about 2.5, 3 hours, and then it's not even a 2 hour drive to it from my dad's house. Uh, but it would have been a good excuse to go up with my parents for the weekend. It's just if I go, I'm going to spend money, and I just saving that money. I'm trying to save to have fun. You don't have to have a lot of money to go to. I'm not going to have a lot of money that that's all. In a person's eye, what's a lot? But I'm not going to have as much as I usually do. I'm going to have as much as I've had before. The last few years, I've really had a nice little knot to take with me. I'm not going to have that this year. This year wasn't as good to me as some others. Making us move to Carolina, I lost a little bit of money in that. Uh, Buying a new car, just and the way the money situation is in the world. I'm a single guy. I don't have two incomes coming in, buying groceries and paying the rent and all of that. So little bit of that's hitting me in the wallet a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but it is what it is. That's why this is a hobby, and I have fun with it. And I don't let it take over my life and be. It's a big part of my life. I'm sitting in a room full of it, and I have a show, which I will have another show starting tomorrow talking just about baseball, no cards. So I'm going to get into a little bit of cards. Why I didn't go to Chantilly and Hickory? I wanted to put that out there. Uh, but also, and please, if anybody does have it, I'm going to say this: if anybody has a problem or issue where you're finding yourself putting cards on credit cards or not paying bills because you're buying sports cards or whatever, please get help. Please call somebody. Please talk to somebody. uh, that's the first step of addiction, and that is a problem in this hobby. uh, Me and Mike talk about it all the time. If we're already know that we're on the fence. We do shows. We're on YouTube all the time talking about baseball cards. We have displays. We have huge collections. Not huge or money. We put a lot of money into it. So heard someone say Caitlin Clark is going to be in the new Bowman U basketball. She better be. What she if she is, I just don't know if she's ready for WNBA. I don't think she's grown enough. She's got another year. And also, I mean, why would you leave unless you already got uh I set a limit of $10 per week. It works really and makes you think. Uh Now do you sell stuff Feth Dar? Because I mean that'd be a good way, or do you just buy a couple of cards and you're happy with that? Because to me, I love a dollar card just as much. I was watching Mike O today open up Heritage that just got released from 2021. It just got released, right? Beautiful cards. Those black and white Bowman cards are beautiful, and they can't be that expensive. I mean, they're 2 years old to start with. So, a guy that's the J Rod he pulled, that's a prospect card, is it? I mean, it's not his first card. It's not his rookie card. It's a dead card. Uh, yeah, Matt, you get in touch with me. That'd be awesome, man. I see some pictures. Take a look at them. Uh, I think she'll stay. Why would you go to the WNBA and not? I mean, WNBA players don't make a killing. Finish your degree at Iowa, where everything's paid for. She's the queen of that campus. I bet you she do whatever she wants. She probably does not buy a meal in town. Um, she, I mean, she when I was there, she was a freshman, and she was the talk of the place, man. I just don't get it. But anyway, let's talk for a minute about Beckett and how much of a losers they are. What they did this weekend, I can't even explain how really they screwed up. Like they set a new range for their tens. Yeah, I sell too. Well, that's. I wish I did a little bit more Feth, but it's just hard for me to do. We were at 4 boxes of Big League at Bowles. A lot of fun. It wasn't breaking the bank. Yeah, so that's $50 a box, James. Uh,
But the question is, did you pull the Jeff Wilson card? Somebody sold one for $200. Hey, Andy, what's going on, brother? Uh, can't wait to see you at the National, brother. So Beckett screwing up, man. And then they came back and said, we're just kidding.
not April Fools, but they heard the outcry and fixed it all back to the way it was. To me, just didn't make much sense what they were doing. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people were screaming about how it was going to mess up like flipping and what these. To me, as a buyer, I'm like, or as a collector, I'm like, I was sitting there looking at 3 Beckett cards I have right now, a couple of David Wright rookies, my Ken Griffey auto, and I'm like going, really? How would that make a difference for those 3 cards? Because they're talking about how 80%. This somebody broke down numbers, and I'm like, I just want the cards. How many of those Bowman first cards do you think got graded by Beckett when that was the card to get graded by 5 years ago, are worth anything now, are not coasters? How many? Because I just think a lot of a lot of these people use Beckett to get a lot of new stuff graded. So those cards are falling off anyway. The vintage a lot of time goes to SGC and PSA. So I just think for what Beckett was being used for, those tens and pristine tens and all that. I mean, how many of those were players that nobody even knows of right now? If we do, yeah, Jeff Wilson. I hear you, James, and I hear a lot. Jeff will in all these because I watched somebody the other night talking about, because of this, it really sparked a thing on influencers in the hobby. And I was like thinking to myself, what is an influencer and how did they get this moniker of being an influencer? Is it because they have, 100,000 followers, or how? Or they got famous by doing this, or were they famous before they did this? I don't even know who the influencers are on this checklist. I think one of them is Ryan Card Collector 2 and Jeff Wilson. Now, Ryan, I was following him when first he started YouTube, crossing over from Instagram. And he's been pretty cool to watch. How he works things. He's a collector. He does flipping. But he comes out of he's not trying to really sell anything in the beginning. Now he's trying to do his we do our breaks, and then we'll get the cards graded for you. We'll check them over for a small fee. But I'm trying to figure out what the influencer is and what they're influencing. Somebody said that Daps Man and those other guys influenced the Star Wars world. Maybe I missed that. I don't know. They didn't influence me. I don't see where all the markets went up. Now there's a lot of cards that are crazily priced, but they're just sitting there. I mean, somebody buys something at a stupid price doesn't mean all cards sell at that stupid price. I've been arguing that since the beginning. So yeah, I'm really confused on this influencer thing. And anybody can be an influencer. You can go into a card shop, and because this happened to me. I opened up a Top Series 1 about 2 years ago, hit a Nolan Arenado, like a 1 of 25, beautiful, chunky patch with a nice auto. And dude, I bought one pack and hit that, and the guy behind me bought the rest of the packs out of it. Which I'm like, dude, I already hit the one hit, and that's probably the hit of the whole. Hey, what's up, man, Genie? A lot of, I wanted to go, dude, I've already got the hit. Why are you purchasing it? But then he ended up buying a box. I don't know how well he did, but anybody at any time could be an influencer. It just depends on the right time and what you're doing. Selling graphs and looking up things. My JD and my buddies over there at Card Hedge, they're doing a great job with that. and I think they're going about it the right way, and how they're doing it. I just a lot of that is if you watch the games. My buddy Ed Westergriff is starting. You'll learn who's the players and buying stuff you like. And if you just look at the scores, read the paper, do a little, not the smallest part of research and see who's the better players are. I don't know what other research you're going to need to do on what to buy and staying within your means and do what Fethar does. Stay on $10, sell some cards. My buddy Bobbles, a lot of people do that. They sell cards. I have sold. I was doing selling on sport lots. I was the king of the quarter cards, and I was probably doing anywhere from $150 a month. Some months were less, $60, $70. But I can go and get a card or two that I really wanted on there. Not all cards sell at a stupid price. This comment sort of work goes online. Selling strategy. I'm buying at super low price, in my opinion, but I'll sell my personal value. I buy what I like. There you go. That's exactly it, man. So if I get stuck with it, you're happy. Yeah, there you go. That's what it's about. I mean, hashtag watch the games and buy what you like. Because if you're stuck with it tomorrow, you know, you at least you got a nice card to look at of a favorite player. You know, I feel it's tough to be a selling. Andy he does some selling. It's tough. It's tough. I know Sean. He does some. He'll sell. Uh, hey, what's up, Mike? Watching the game. Who wears the powder blue better? That's what I want to know. I got a Phillies guy in here. Are you butthurt that the Rangers are wearing powder blue? That's all I want to know. That's all. That's the big question tonight. I know I saw somebody else this weekend wearing powder blue, and I can't remember who it was. I know it wasn't. Yeah, you're losing. It's 1-1. I thought you were losing one. I didn't see how you score your run, but the Rangers look a little bit better than we thought they were going to be. But it's just the first weekend. Today I came across Junk Wax Jones cards listed on eBay for $1,500 each. These are $30 cards. Why does eBay tolerate that? eBay's going to let you list it for anyway because they're going to get their chunk of change. I just had an offer for a Pete Alonso full board. It is 10 for like $500 today offer. I still think that's crazy. What's up, Doc? I don't know if oh, that's right. It was St. Louis that was wearing the powders. That's who I saw. Uh, I think eBay just doesn't. They're not going to look at the pricing, and it's up to you. Buyer beware. We know better than that. But wax area card, junk error wax to me is sneaky good, especially in this grading age time now. This is going to be my influencer tip. It's so hard to get those cards in good shape. It can't be any card, but those bigger rookies, the ones that people want, you get a 10. You got some there, but yeah, you can't buy one for $1,500. And but then again, that's somebody. We all get it. Somebody comes to you, my little brother or whatever. I started collecting when I was a kid, and we already know they're the same age as us. It's going to be junk wax, and it's just tough. You think you see some great Hall of Famers in there, but if they're a dime a dozen. But if they're in good shape and you get them graded, yeah, and these grading fees, the more they come down, the better the junk wax error will be. I think. Junk era hockey collector here. Let's go. There you go, Festar. I'm with you. That's my junk era wax hockey is when I started watching hockey, right? So I pick up some of those rookies in PSA 8s and 9s because I can't afford the tunes, even with those guys. Uh, Yankees must be playing Phillies next, Mike. How about the Marlins retros? Did they wear those today? Because I didn't notice it. If they did, I watched the game. Yes, they wore the funky Friday night. They wore like the funky disco ones, and then like yesterday, did they wear them? No, they wore. Did they wear the retros today? I can't remember. Man, I've been watching a ton of baseball. I mean, I got the Phillies on right now, Rangers. Uh, I don't understand. I guess on ESPN2 or whatever, they're trying to do the same thing they did with the Mannings and have A Rod and some other guy on there talking. That can't be as good as the Man. They should just get the Mannings again and probably be just as funny, even though they probably don't know nothing about baseball. Friday night they wore their original teal uniforms. Oh, did they? Was I not paying attention to that? Because I got off of work early to come home to watch the game. That's how much of a delinquent I am. It won't. We didn't have anything going on. I looked at my boss and go, "Hey, the Mets are coming on at 6. Can I go home?" And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead." Oh, it is brutal with A Rod. It just doesn't look. It looked like a bunch of old guys sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar, talking baseball. I would personally love that on a Sunday night, but not watching somebody else do that. I mean, they showed Larry Boa up in the corner. Larry Boa looks like he's about 102 now. And these are some great baseball minds, I'm sure. But I just don't know if that's you're getting the same thing that you were doing with the Mannings. That I don't know. It's just weird uh, to be doing that. I don't know who you would get to do that, but just kind of weird. What other things? The Beckett things we talked to death. I just think for a collector, uh, it was really a non-issue. Other than the fact is, why would you put your money with a company that drives a clown car? Because that's who they are. I mean, and the thing is, we'll go to the National, just like last year when everybody was making fun of their of the whatever flip they were going to go to, which they didn't go to. There'll be a line all the way back out into the hallway. It'll be the same way this year at the National. Um, I don't know why and how. I would love to go and interview some people and ask them, in all honesty, what makes them want to go with Beckett.
And if there's somebody here that sticks with Beckett, I would like to know. And I'm not being funny or want to make fun of you. Or somebody that watches this in our archives, please let me know down below, because I honestly want to know what your appeal is with Beckett. I almost want to ask the same with PSA. We have to. We're almost in. I have to. You have to deal some with PSA to be, if you want to sell, or I guess you really don't. But if you go down the rabbit hole like me into the registries, and PSA just sells so much better than the other ones for whatever reason. Let me pause right there for a second. I'll remember to come back. Put a pin in that. I just watched a video of a gentleman that was talking about trying to sell CSG cards and buying them, and he had some very nice CSG stuff. And what you just got to be patient, just like people did with SGC. Bobbles preached it with SGC. I'm gonna name drop Bobbles again. Bobbles is right in this one. You just have, if you want to get your price, you have to be patient. But I know if you got money tied up in it and you got to buy other cards to keep that line moving,
you have to drop your price, and I understand that too. But we know as collectors that CSG is harsh graders. Uh, there you go, Feth. I've been buying them. I bet you right now in the last 2 weeks or last month, I'll go back even at. Hey, they're about to interview Bryce Harper, Mike. Uh, if you want to turn down the lights and get a candle lit. Um, I just want to. I just think, uh, he was talking about how CSG and how harsh they grade, and he likes them, and they got probably the best looking slab out there. I just don't understand why. And they have the pedigree that we know that the people come from Beckett that run them. That's why probably Beckett is kind of where in the place they're at. Uh, why as sellers people let them do? I take full advantage. I love CSG. I look for CSG eights and nines and tens. That's when I'm. I would love to have Bryce Harper on a Let's Talk. I ain't stupid. I would love if he collects, he could be on here, or he could be on my new Monday show. So I as a see that is hard for me to wrap my head around, and has been since the beginning. When I found out that PSA wasn't the only dog in town, I started looking into SGC and some other companies, and I'm like, well, if we believe in them, why isn't maybe the price is a little off, but man, it's not as much as it is. Uh, but it's just the way it is. I know people with registries and stuff, but not everybody's in the registry, especially on this new cards, not on RPAs, not on all that stuff. But the work in our hobby, PSA is king. So back to what I was saying, yeah, we have to deal with PSA some. So and SGC for me, if you're a flipper, a proven with the Series 1, if you want to get your stuff out of the market the quickest, you set the prices. PSA just can't do that. PSA can't not do that. So you get your cards back in a week, and you set the prices on what it goes for. Yeah, for the SGC, now they have their downsides. I don't. I've grown to not like the tux. I'm going to state it. I was saying it to myself while listening to a podcast in my car on the way to work. I'm not the greatest fan of the tux now that I see my cards in CSG. And when I see my cards in CSG slabs, to me, it's just so much better. And the whole thing looks better. I love it better than PSA. I think both of the slabs are better than PSA. But to me, that all that black, and they're not consistent with enclosing the card or having space between the card and the black. And that drives me a little crazy. Because it was doing it to my big cards, but now they're starting to do it with smaller cards too. They're not being consistent. And I as much, and I don't get me wrong, I won't turn down SGC when I'm buying and the car is there at the right price. I buy it. It's not like I don't like it. I'm not the biggest fan compared to my CSG. Yeah, didn't see any PSA. Well, you can't, because the only thing you're going to see there is if any big one of ones or really low numbers. I'm hopeful that someday collectors will be able to see that all slabs are slipping holders and contain an opinion. That's exactly right. Andy, let me post this. I've been neglecting my posting. I don't have my Nats man here posting for me. Usually he clicks all this up for me. This is a great statement by Andy. He gets one every once in a while. I'm hopeful that someday collectors will be able to see that all slabs are simply holders that contain an opinion on the condition. Amen, brother. That you nailed it. Make it, put it on a t-shirt. Um, that is awesome. Uh, well said. Bravo. Now you can be happy. We can wait another year for enlightenment from Andy. We're good. I was thinking of turning in my junk ARCs for grading to either SGC or CSG just to keep for myself. Yeah, well, vintage in a tux is amazing. I agree to a certain point. Uh, I still love the CSG. I have not got any vintage in CSG. Have I seen it? Yes. And I know this is all a matter of opinion, so I'm not going to argue with over your opinion because I think you are correct. If you tell me whatever, if you think GMA has the best slabs, I want to say, yep, because that's your opinion, and I think you're right. Your opinion is correct to yourself, because you spend your money the way you want to spend it. And I agree with you, Mike. And now I'm not stupid. If you'll start when I get SGC returns and stuff, I'm sending one or two to try to help flip. I'm taking a little box with me, and I want to try to do something at the show this year. I haven't done that before. I've always threatened to. I'm a little, believe it or not, I'm shy when it comes to that because I never think my stuff's good enough. And I don't want to make a fool out of myself, as funny as that is, because I do it here all the time. I just think I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to have Mike hold my hand when I'm doing it. So I like that outlook. We've got to agree what teams and players do you collect. I can get into that in a minute. Let me. The '90s was a hell of a decade for me. So if I don't complete my thought, it will be lost. So this year at the show, I'm going to be trying to do some trading. Nothing huge as of right now. My Hunter Green that came back was a little bit of a letdown, even though he's not having the greatest of starts. But he still throws 103. And he's a pitcher. I know you don't put a lot in the pitchers. And he's playing for the Reds. It's just that card just popped in my mind. One I need to look at more because when I send in to do sales, I really scrutinize the cards. Mike will tell you he's seen a couple. I've sent in a couple of repeats, so I'm trying to get rid of those at that point. Oh man, I feel that not wanting to make a fool of myself. Yeah. So Festar teams. I'm not a huge team collector, but my favorite team is the Mets. And I collect Pete Alonso, Brett Beatty right now, of course, Marciano, whatever his name is, and Alvarez, the pre-rookies right now. They're in rookie cards for this year, though. Let's see. Also, I'll pick up the McNeils and a few other guys if it's nice numbered or something. Gary Carter is my number one guy. Baseball. You said you're a hockey guy. I am a Caps guy. Washington Caps. Right up. Let me see if I can get my finger right. Right there is the Sports Illustrated with Ovechkin in the cup. And I love Carlson and Tom Wilson. And all I'm a Caps fan. I have a shelf behind me with quite a few autos of them. David Wright up there. I will do some wrestling. You'll see wrestling behind me. They're all autos. I just did a wrestling showcase last couple of Saturdays, if anybody's seen that. And then Bench, Ripken, Griffey, Frank Thomas. Am I leaving anybody out, everybody? I'm all over the place, but I do have a hierarchy, and I do non-sports as well. I do Star Wars. Behind me, right here, is all Star Wars cards. 75% of them are stormtroopers or clone troopers. That's my main stuff in Star Wars, and I'll do some other non-sports as well. My Ace Supply favorite, the penny sleeve that holds a mini in the center, so you can drop it in a 9-card pouch. Yes, and I have showed that on here. Mike O, I gotta give it to him. He's the one that pointed it out to me. They're called tobacco card inserts. I usually have 100 mini cards around me at any time. But what it does is, let's see if this will do it all. I'm sorting cards right now, so excuse my Dave Stewart. You can see that outline right there, right? So there's an outline that the card goes into. Boom. And then you can take this and put it in any top loader, sleeve it, however you want it. I love those. Thank you, Mike O, for showing me that. Let me turn it off. GMA has the best slabs if you like cheap looking and feelings. Yeah. I tell you what, my best pickup so far this week has been the number 4 card saver. I've showed these often in the past. I picked these up on eBay. Not cheap right now. Anything tough to get like that. If you're looking to send in bigger cards, I have some that I'll be showing off this week on my Wednesday one. I got, let's see here. What did I mean, I think these cards did fit, but they just fit better in a 4. This is a couple of Star Wars ones that I did. Now these are Japanese ones, postcards, so they just fit better in a 4. I've showed like the booklet cards, and these right here are the ones I was talking about, y'all. With they're just inconsistent. They've gone back to completely enclosing them. I got them with space. I have them in smaller holders. I have them with a little bit of space showing. Nice play. So I have a little. I'm taking them with me to national, and hopefully somebody can tell me what to do to try to get them all in the same type of holder. Hey, what's up, Don? I learned something new. You got a nice Captain Rex. Well, thank you. I just got it stuffed. Oh, no, that's Naked Gun 2.5. I wonder which Captain Rex that was. Is that the one I showed last week? I just picked up this one, too. I have a whole bunch of these. Whole bunch of clones and stormtroopers around the apartment, keeping stuff safe. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd about everything that I do. If it's cards, if I don't know something about it, I try to find it. My problem is I try to find out everything about it if I don't know it. And so I'm constantly learning because I don't know a lot. Or I think I know it and I don't know it and I gotta learn and then it's all over. So I love my Star Wars, and then I got a nice grouping of all my YouTube friends up here at the top behind me. But also in hockey, I'm a huge Gretzky fan. Fefdar, on Saturday, I invite you to watch my chats. Maybe you might not like the whole thing, but it's more my personal. Believe it or not, I get a little bit more personal about how I collect and why I collect, how I do things. Hey, Ray. Hell of a play by your second baseman here shortly. A lot of rabbit holes. Yeah, and the thing is I have been dedicating more time to Pete Alonso here lately and David Wright. I think it's just because the season started. Um, it just kind of I'll see something and I'll just squirrel, and then I go to that. What time on Saturday do you? I just released it on Saturday. It's a pre-recorded. Uh, it's on Saturday. I just call it my Saturday chat, and sometimes I do it on Friday night. I work second shift, so during the week it's tough for me to keep schedules. I do sometimes the night I get home for the day before, or sometimes I do it in the day. Uh, so that's how that usually works. Anybody got any other issues, questions? The Beckett thing seemed to be a big deal to some people. To me, almost to me, it was if a tree falls down in the woods and nobody's there, well, can you hear it? Because that's the way Beckett has been. Beckett was during COVID. Nobody heard anything from him. Uh, then now two things they've announced, and both of them they've taken back. They said never mind. The biggest thing that they should do is redo their pricing and get in the ball game. Uh, get back to their autographing. Get back to. I think if they got into more pushing their authentication, I know that said that really bad. Side of things, I think with SGC and CSG only grading pre, not it's got to be on card that was pulled. I think they can really make a dent into PSA DNA and go that angle to get back in the game. Uh, I think they were doing pretty good with their. I couldn't care less about Beck. That's the way I am too. I was listening Friday night. I was stuck listening. I had games on. I was putting cards together, sorting cards, and I was in depth listening because I was trying to figure out why this person was so enamored with numbers in Beckett. How many cards would now be a gem mint compared to what they were yesterday? And I was just like, why would it would if you didn't send them in to get changed, they'll still be gem mint, right? I mean, I don't understand that. I didn't understand what the knee jerk reaction was, but I don't know. Amazing they have fallen in a distant four. GAI slabs are the best. Uh, which one is GAI? Is Ray? Is that what we were joking about? Is that just the shorthand of it? There's just so many of those initials. What do you think of the debut patch card? I will speak on it when I see one. I'm hoping they don't cut them. Somebody said they're keeping the debut patch together. Ray's a troll. Ray is not a troll. He's one of the man could make one card into a 12-minute video and make me never leave, not do one sorting my card because I'm so listen. And then I start looking for the card. He's an influencer. There's my influencer. Uh, Paul's here. Now Paul's here. He is the professional troll. The debut patch card will be one of one. It's not going to be anything than a logo man or something like that. Yeah. So I think as long as they keep it up and don't go away with it, don't bastardize it by making a triple patch logo with two people in a sunrise and the gold one of one and all this other stuff. Sure, Ray, sure. No problem, man. It's the truth. The influencer, the PIGs. Now, I know the PIG. He's working. Well, he already worked. He's done for today. So yeah, the day I'm waiting to see more on it before it's a great idea until they mess with it, right? It just seems Tops is going to Tops. It doesn't matter who's owning them, and we've seen that. At Wesker Griff on one of these weeks to discuss the thoughts on Mr. Mint and Cap Anson. I've been trying to get him on, but he works. I want him on a Thursday, and we'll talk non-sport. I'm excited about it. I hope the debut patch goes to hockey too. I focused around the game warning. Upper Deck, I just don't think it's going to go there because I think this is going to be a baseball thing. But Upper Deck could do something like that. And I mean, I've seen what Stanley Cup. I've seen different patches from playoff games and inaugural the frozen hockey games, whatever, the outside ones with Upper Deck. In a 10 Cup series, I've seen in some of those other higher end stuff, I've seen some nice patches come out of there. Yeah, I've heard the same thing, Mike. I heard hockey collectors do not like autographs, but they like game worn. I heard hockey collectors do not look for them. Fanatics did get the hockey license. So when did that happen? Fanatics has NHL hockey jerseys, right, coming up, but I do agree about the Upper Deck. Yeah. I just Upper Deck right now, their problem is trying to get their stuff to the printers. So I'm going to drop another name. Carlos did a great one on the floating hit. Yep. Carlos did a great video on AEW versus WWE in the card world, right? And how Panini can get their stuff to the printer, and they have so much more of it, different cards out there than Upper Deck does. Then it's hard for them to get. Well, Paul, did they get it for jerseys or did they get for cards? That's two different, because Fanatics has had jerseys in baseball and football and colleges. They had rights to that for years. I think there's a difference there, but if I need to go do some research in here in about 2 minutes. Yeah, the floating head said that no hockey collector likes autos. But yeah, I just think there is an issue. Okay, jerseys, which I like because Fanatics makes tent sizes, and so I can get stuff to fit me. This is a Fanatics shirt here. If Fanatics didn't make shirts, I probably would not have a national championship Virginia shirt because Omar, the tent maker, works for Fanatics, so I can get the big boy sizes. But yeah, will it be a matter of time before they get hockey? This is what the NHL said. NHL said, and I think they got approached, said they will not leave Upper Deck because Upper Deck was the only ones to stick with them after their last strike. That is what the NHL said. So they have loyalty with Upper Deck. Upper Deck's problem is, it sounds like to me, financially, they might not be in the best of ways. And also, they're probably a big third in the companies that are fighting for the two same presses that everybody else is fighting for. And when Fanatics owns one of them, they said you're in a tough place. And once Fanatics goes through, it gets finally for the football and basketball, that press is going to be off the limits, and there's only going to be one press for the rest of them. We have a unique issue in the hobby with hockey, and that there are a lot of collectors in Canada. So we have the to contest with traders across the border a lot more. Yeah, and I am planning, hopefully in the fall. And I don't know with my financial not problem, my financial situation that I have, which I'm not in no bad situation whatsoever. I'm just being a grown up. I'm adulting. That I'm hopefully in the fall that I'm going to the expo in Toronto. Now, if I don't, it's going to be there the next year. I don't have a fear of missing out. The only thing that I really want to go to is the national, and I have another trip in the fall to go to Canton. Now, going to Canton, I just got to spend food for my travel or money for food and travel. Going to the national, I don't need. I'll be happy at the national if I don't spend a dime, to tell you the truth. But it makes it more fun to have a little bit of spending money. Anything else before I've been on for an hour, babbling by myself, which is fun. I miss my man Natsman. Hope everything's fine with him. Haven't heard anything from him this week. We did have good news from him last week. Yeah, I was hoping we get him to announce. What did I say, Canton? I meant Cooperstown. Mike. You know better. You know where I'm going. I'm going with you. I don't. Did I say Canton? I meant Cooperstown. Yeah, Canton. I don't want to go to NFL one. So I hope everybody's enjoyed the first weekend of baseball. We got a lot of sporting going on right now. A lot of different sporting, no matter what you're into, even football, XFL, USFL, draft, everything. Yeah, Fethar, every Sunday, man, every Sunday night, 8:00. This is something that I try to have. I have not missed a Sunday in over, I think, 2 years now. So, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their week, and I'll see you tomorrow. Special, not special, something I'm starting the baseball season. It'll be me and my dad on Mondays talking baseball, just chatting baseball. Me and him already had a discussion today. I usually just put on speakerphone and me and him just talk while I'm watching. We're both watching games or watching the Hawkeyes girls chatting. Just stuff we solve the world's problems. So please, we're gonna record tomorrow. Yeah, please hit that like for me, Fefdar, and everybody else follow along. Please. I don't want to tell y'all anything. I'm asking nicely. So me and my dad will be recording that one in the morning. Hopefully I'll be having that released early afternoon. This is going to be a Monday thing. We're going to pick one team every week to talk about and talk about whatever's going on in baseball. Sprinkle in with anything else. Me and my dad get to talking. It could be about anything. Good night, James. I can tell you the one thing, will be no card talk. It'll be just sports, just baseball. If I say something, it's going to be just because my brain works that way. So that'll be fun. And then Wednesday, same old thing. Showing off. I got a stack of cards. I might be breaking the internet because I have PSA, SGC, CSG, all at the same time. Breaking the internet. And that'll be fun. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't. Hit that like button. And if you would, shoot a little message down in the messages after I archive it. It really helps the algorithm. Helps me get some traction. It'll be great for the help. So until next time, we'll see you. Bye.